Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. So today we're going to do one small case study on the Amazon. So here we're going to talking about a Amazon case study. Let us use this today. Okay. So Amazon is the a FMCG domain. So fast moving consumer goods. We're also calling it as a retail domains. Flipkart, Amazon, and Big Bazaar or Big Basket. All these things are called as FMCG domain or fast moving consumer goods, or you can also say as retail domains. So you have a lot of data which is coming to the Amazon.com, which is OLTP. So we have a table called, yeah, we have a database called OLTP database. You can say either product database or you can also call this as Amazon database. And after that, I'm going to create a product stage. And from here, the data will be going to the product data warehouse database. Okay. But what customer is going to give it to you? Customer is going to give only the OLTP database. So using that, we have to create data warehouse database. Once you create a data warehouse database, then you should be able to create a cube and perform multi-dimensional analysis out of that. Okay. Now let me show you what is the Amazon, the database or product database that I'm going to give it to you. So this data which I've already prepared. So let me go here and let me open Amazon OLTP script. So this is what is the database people may give you to understand. Okay. So now the first thing is that, so I'm going to give you the scripts. So you have to run the scripts and create a database. Now let me also execute this. Okay. I have created and I'm using the same script. I'm able to create a category table, category master table, category ID, category name. Okay. And then the data got inserted in this, that is 101 stationery, soaps and detergents, personal products, something like that. We have a lot of categories. Then the second table would be I'm going to create a product master. So whenever you see the table names are master, you can say that which are OLTP tables. Now here I have a product name, product price and category ID. And this table is talking, or this primary key of this table, this is a primary key, which is the foreign key, and both of them are linked. Fine. Then later, I am also inserting this data here, and this is my data. And what are the columns we have? Product ID, name, price, and category ID. So pen is 18 rupees and 101. 101 is the category called stationery, something like that. Okay. Now we have going to create two tables. Now one more table is called as, the next table I'm going to give you, that is customer master. So customer ID, customer name, city where the customer registered. So that city also I have given like this. So the business is going on in two countries. One is USA and one more is India. So you should be able to find out the cities which are from India and Dallas, Hyderabad, something like that. So lot of data, lot of people got registered and all this data. Okay, all this data is going to be executed, and lot of cities, lot of people are there. Now this is what is the customer data. Now sales, product ID and which customer, and sale date and quantity sold and sales amount, and when is that it's got sold out, and when is that we have delivered the product, and all these tables. And I'm also inserted lot of data here. So this is normally we never insert the data. Try to understand the point. We never insert the data. So when you execute this, when you execute, okay, so let me drop. Okay, so use master. and let me drop if you have this. Okay. Now let me simply execute this. When I execute, which is going to create a Amazon database, all the tables are created. Now, what are the tables you have? If you wanted to see all those tables, now when you come down, you are able to write this command. So you can write select. Okay, so normally there is a system table. So in the system tables, you're going to find out all the tables in the Amazon database, right? So these are the tables we have, and you can also just go here and you should be able to refresh, and you should be able to Amazon database, and which is OLTP database. You have these four tables are there. So these four table names are available in system tables. Okay, you can say simply star. Star means all the columns from the system tables where you should be able to pick up complete. What is the object ID and whether it's user table or not, when it is created, lot of data. So I wanted to get the first column, that is name. Okay, that is a table name. So I wanted to prefix something, concatenation. Okay, concatenation means, for example, if you say hi, so what is going to happen? You're going to say hi category master. Instead of that, what I'm going to write, I'm going to write select star from. Then you have to give some space here and execute. Now when you execute, you should be able to get this kind of a things. Now you're able to see complete table names, you're able to get like this, and you execute them. Okay, I have approximately 18 rows, not approximately, exactly 18 rows we have. And in this we have, say 50 rows we have, and customer table is going to contain, so 60 rows, and sales table also is going to contain a lot more data. So normally the people are going to give you uh, the OLTP, the sample database will be given to you with the help of, either they may give you a backup file or they may give you some kind of a scripts, and you think that you're working on a development environment where original of Amazon database will not be given to you. So they're going to give you a sample data and all the existing tables will be there, but only the data will not be original data. Think like that. Okay, so using this as an architect, what they have to create is that they have to derive at the data warehouse design. So now what we're going to have it here is that, so let me open a ETL mapping document. So not the ETL mapping document, let me give you a uh, product or Amazon table list, right? So what are the tables we have in the OLTP? So we have a product master table, so something like this. Okay, so and I have some data. Then second table we have a category master table, so some products we have. Then we have customer master. You may have phone number, and later we have customer ID, and this is the table structure we have. Okay, now for this table structure, I have to create a data warehouse database. Now first point is that, so OLTP is suitable for more writing of data. You can have more primary keys and more foreign keys. Yesterday I told you, at the time of creating a data warehouse, you ensure that whenever you are able to merge the tables, you should be able to merge. For example, I have a 40, the pen. What is 40 here? The 40 is stationary. Instead of having, so what you do in the data warehouse table, the product master table will be called as dim product. You have a product key, you have a product name, you have a product price. So you have a PAD has become product key and product name and product price. And here we have category ID, but when you see here there is no category ID, we have category name. So how the things are going to be here? So you, while dumping the data, you have to dump the data as it is, but only thing is that for here you have to look up whenever you get 40, this you have to look up with 40 and get stationary. So this is you have to perform a lookup operations whenever you dump the data to the data warehousing. Okay. So now remember this table will not be there. I have removed this table completely here. So two table got merged, only one table. So we have reduced one table. Clear? So for the dim time, the next table would be uh, customer table. For the customer table, I have customer ID, customer name, city, and phone number. But here I have a customer key, customer name, customer city, customer phone number. So there's no change here. As it is, you have to dump the data. Okay. And this table is derived or created freshly because this table is not at all available in this. When you see, I have a product master first table, and this is the first table, and this is the second table you have, and this is the third table you have, and you have four tables. That's it. You don't have dim location table, but this is based on the requirement of the client. I have created location key, country, state, city, and this is extra table which I have to create, and the data is also not coming from OLTP. This I have to create and insert the data into this manually. Clear? And one more table also yesterday I told you, you have to create one more table called dim time table, date key, full date, year number, semester number, and all of them needs to be created. So all the fields needs to be created like this. And here, what is the data? For example, your business is started 21st October 2016, right? Continuously, you have to insert the data 22nd, 23rd, 24th again. 10 years or 5 years data continuously you insert, and here you have to get for each and every date you will get 1 2 3 4. So for this table data, if you wanted to insert, you will not be able to insert 5 years data continuously. So what is the first date? First date would be starting of the business. So for example, I start a business today, I may have the sales can happen today. For example, Amazon is started in 21st October 16. Before that the sales cannot happen, right? So on that date will be the first date. So continuously you have to insert some 10 to 10 years of data. And October means second semester, quarter number means it's October means quarter four, month number is 10. Like lot of data you have to have. So why we have to create a dim timetable like this? Because if you keep as a single day, tomorrow you have to apply lot of functions and retrieve. For example, I wanted to get only the year number. If you have a date like this, and from this date getting a year number is very very difficult. Okay. So normally people are going to separate the data and store each and everything. You should not use lot of functions to retrieve what is the quarter number from this, what is the month number from this, what is the year number from this. For example, I wanted to understand year wise sales, month wise sales. So when you have a billions of data, and getting a year number would be very very difficult, right? So normally the tables organize such a way that you will not be able to do any kind of a core things. For example, let me give you a simple example here. Now this is my OLTP table. Okay, this is my OLTP table in Amazon.com. So I have a sale date. For example, tomorrow I wanted to get products sold in 2014. So how to write? Where I have to write date part. Okay, I have say YYY, and I say sale date, right? Sale date, and equals to 2000 and say 14. So I wanted to get the data for this. Now I have couple of days. So you will have a limited data. You are able to get this data very very quickly. But you think you have 1 billion data in this table. When you execute the same query, this is going to give you lot of time is going to take it. So instead of applying a date part, for example, I wanted to get a QQ means quarter. I wanted to get people who have opened the accounts in or purchased in quarter number three in all years. So I wanted to see like this, all quarters. But when you have a limited data, you should be able to get like this. But when you have a billions of data, this date part function will become very very slow. Are you getting my point? So what is the another alternative for this? For example, when you say this, it is not going to work for the billions of data when you write date part function and all. So normally I don't have any data. So if you have some data, billions of data, definitely this query is going to be slow. So what is the alternative query? Even though you have a date here, and you can also add one more column called year number, quarter number, something like this. So in that year number, the year number you're going to store separately here. So tomorrow, what you're going to do, you're going to say, when you have one more column called year number, so you have simply say year number in 2014. So you need to add one more column called year number here. So inside year number, wherever the year number is there, you automatically insert 2014, 2012 like that. So whenever you execute, year number is one more column here. Even though you have this, you're storing this data separately, and so that if you need the full date, you use this column. If you need only the year, filtration based on the year number, then use the year number column. Clear? So storing year number separately, quarter number separately is good. You need not apply data part function so that this query will be very, very fast. Clear? No. In data warehouse, this is the reason why they don't want to create, date part functions. They will be having a specialized dimension table for this. Okay, but how the data will be inserted into this table? For this, you have to create your own stored proc. Okay, so or you should be able to download the stored proc from the net or from Google. You should be able to create and insert the data. Okay, I'm going to give you one stored proc. So the stored proc I have created already. The stored proc is available here. Let me show you that. Okay, so I have stage mapping stored proc. When you open with the notepad, and this stored proc is available in data warehouse, because we're talking about data warehouse, right? Data warehouse we're talking about here. Okay, now this will be available here. So this is stored proc name is generate dim timetable. So starting values you can just hard code. So from 2012 17, this is when my company started, and this is the end date, or you may give end date as 2020 also. Okay, so I'm not giving. So tomorrow, when you execute this, which is going to insert the data in this table, that the table name which I'm going to create is that dim time table. Okay, so this is the table I'm going to insert. So this is automatically stored proc which I have written. This you will be able to download from the net, or you may create on your own. So this table will be taken care by the stored proc, and this table data will be taken care by manually. You need to create a table and insert data. And for the dim product table, the data it has to come from OLTP, and for this also the data has to come from OLTP. And for the last table we're talking about fact sales table. So here we have customer key, product ID, then we have a date, and we have a quantity sold, sale date key, and a date of delivery. So when you purchase the product on 21st of October, they have taken 2 days to deliver, and 23rd it got reached the customer. And 23rd somebody got product and it is reached on 25th, something like that. You have couple of dates, right? So now the thing is that, let me show you the data warehouse design for the OLTP, which I have already done it for you. So let me uh, show you the script. So this is what is called Amazon, called DWH script. Let me
Sir,
double click it.
just one more question, sir.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, for the date dimension, for example, how do you make a join with the sales date with the data warehouse dim date dimension based on what column you made in a
Yeah.
join between those two?
Yeah, that we're going to discuss. Okay, let us discuss this,
Okay.
schema first. Now, how to load and
Yeah.
all everything we're going to see.
Yeah.
Fine.
And one more thing,
Yeah.
on top of that is like if the date is a date
Mm.
timestamp,
Mm.
and based in the dim date, we don't have a timestamp. So if you want to join based on those, then that scenario as well. Yeah.
Mm. Then the
Okay.
record data will be much more data. So you can have dim time
Yeah.
date also, and
Okay. Thank you.
yeah, you need to have a timetable also. That is same.
Okay.
Okay. So only that you need to
Okay, sir.
include time columns and everything. Okay. Fine. Now I have created. Yeah, I have created a. So I have one table that I'm going to drop it. I have a database already. I'm going to drop this first. Now I have dropped, I'm creating in front of you a Amazon DW data warehouse. Let me execute the script as it is. Okay. Now I told you that we have to create a dim product table and here category name. And remember, whatever be the category name, whenever you see the category name, okay. So category name is having a varchar 50. Now when you see the category name should have the same data length. So here uh, the product table is going to have a integer. So the data types you're going to maintain this. If the data types are much more here, for example, you have 400 and if you have a 40 here and you may have the data may get truncated. So if you unnecessarily somebody is created like this, that is a mistake. Okay. But now at least in the data warehouse, you have to give correct data types and everything. So ensure that it is cleanly, product price in OLTP. Let us see what is the product price. It is money. Okay. But here and the product price is again money. So you have to ensure that if there is any problem. Okay. So create table dim product. This is a blank table got created in the data warehouse. Now remember you are in the Amazon data warehouse. And now the scripts you have to give it to the customer. So based on our understanding. So first table we created. This is the first table. And for this, the naming conventions here, you may have product ID. And here naming conventions, people will have product name. Here you have only name, but here you may have product name, something like this. Okay. So now people are going to have one mapping document sheet based on the source data and destination data that we'll talk about later. Now for this, I have created one. Okay. Now run. So the next table would be product table is done. The next table is then customer table. Let me go here. And here I have a customer ID, customer name and city. But unfortunately, when you see the city and the phone numbers are not there. So we have customer key and customer name only there. So phone number you can add it here. I did not have the phone number, but city is definitely I don't want to keep it here. So you remember that point. Okay, you can have phone number here. So that's fine. So this is second table which I have created. And the third table would be dim location table. This is created on my own. Location key country, So here on your own you have to insert the data. This data cannot come from the source system, because you have to find out what are the places where the Amazon is doing the business. Those cities or those countries data you need to insert manually. This is a tedious process. Okay. So all the India and US in two countries the sales is happening. In India also only these cities the sales is going on, not any other cities. Okay. So hence I have given you only this. But in US the cities are more, the sales is going on major portion there. So this is I have created the script. I'm going to give it to you. This is ready. Fine. Now one more table I'm going to create: date, key, full date, year number, semester number, weekday. And here I have given English month name. And I have also added one more Telugu month name. For example, we have Chaitram, Ashadam, like that, right? If somebody, Indian, shopping malls, they wanted to understand what is the total sales happened in Ashadam, what is the total sales happened in January. So something like that. They may ask you in Telugu month names or French month names, like that. So you can create your own, month names, and you should be able to have it here. So as of now, we don't have any data. But how do I get the data? So I told you I have created a stored proc. Let me open the stored proc here. So this is my stored proc. Let me open new query window, and let me drag and drop the stored proc here, and let me simply execute. So the stored proc is getting created in the data warehouse database. Now done. When the stored proc is created, you have to execute. How to execute? So take the stored proc name, copy this, okay, and you can just remove. And here you have to say execute proc name. Okay, that's it. So you have to say you have to execute, because stored proc is available in here. So make sure that You have to execute this. Now, when you execute, this fellow is going to insert the data. So it has got inserted. Now, let me execute this. Now you should be able to get the business is started 2012 and December, and for July the Telugu month name is Ashadam. So like that. So for August it is Shravanam. So this is own logic which I have developed. September means Bhadrapadam, something like this. So you may have Telugu month name, French month name, German month name. So if they have special month names, that you should be able to have. Or you wanted to understand, is it a holiday or is it a weekday? So you may have one more column here, is it a weekday or is it holiday? So something like this, may people say true or false, many people say true or false. So tomorrow I wanted to understand how much products have been sold on weekdays, how much products are sold on weekends. So that kind of a question you should be able to answer. But when the dim timetable should have that kind of information, is it a weekday or public holiday or national holiday, something like this? Is it on Sunday? Is it on Saturday? So like that, lot of data, lot of columns, you should be able to include here. Is it a working day, non-working day,
So
public holiday, something like this? Okay. So you need to add some more columns. Do you have any question? Okay. So this is what is the I have inserted data into this table. Now this is done. Then later I have created one more table called create fact sales table. I have product key, customer key, sale date key, quantity sold, sales amount, delivery date key. And here, do you remember location? We had a city, but I removed the city from here. I'm simply adding a location key. So my point is here that, for example, a John is belong to 101, so he belong to Bangalore. Okay. Now what I'm trying to do, for example, 101 is Bangalore. Whenever you insert 101 here, 102 here, for example, 102 is Sita, she's from Hyderabad, right? So I don't want to maintain the city here, because if you 102 belong to Hyderabad, I need not mention again Hyderabad here, Hyderabad here. I simply mentioning 102, and here whatever be the location, okay, location, 102 is residing in, say, location number 101. For example, here we have 101, say country India, and state, say some Telangana, the city is Hyderabad. Okay. Now I have 102, say India, Telangana, have Secunderabad. Okay. Something like this, I have some dates. Right? So I don't want to maintain in the dim customer table this, but you may maintain customer phone number. I have removed this column. So instead of adding the column there, I'm simply adding 102. 102 means 102, some customer here. The customer is residing in some city called Hyderabad. For what is the city for Hyderabad? So from here you have to go to OLTP, pick up Hyderabad, and come to the data warehouse dim location table. And for Hyderabad, what is the city? For Hyderabad, what is the location key? That you have to insert it here. Okay, you're doing some kind of a circus here. So this is the thing. So tomorrow I wanted to understand how many products have been sold in Hyderabad. So you should be able to find out using this product key. So from here, I have modified one more thing here. Okay. So that is the extra thing I have done it. Clear, guys?
sir, we lost your voice completely.
Okay. Now are you able to understand clearly? See, listen to me clearly. Hello.
Sir, we lost for the last 10 minutes.
Okay. Now is it fine now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm talking about whenever you insert the data in dim location table. So hope this has been clear, right? This data is clear. This table is clear, and I have created dim location table. This is clear, and the dim time table is clear for you guys. Ram, is it clear?
So that date you have taken this prop, you have taken the start date and end date based on the sale date. Is that right?
Yeah, what I have done is that not start date. Whenever the business is started in my company, okay, the business start date. For
Okay.
example, I started the business today. Your table should have starting date as that.
Okay.
Okay. So now, for example, when you start your business today, so you need to include today's date. So we have started a business on July 2012 and the first. Okay. So from
Okay.
here, I have inserted the data for till 17 December this year.
Okay.
Okay. So here you will get 1, 2, 3, 4 like this continuous numbers you're going to have. That's it. So this data got inserted with the help of this frog.
Okay.
That's it. I have done it.
Okay. The starting date is the business start date.
Correct. Ending date, couple of years from now. Okay. So another 10 years
Okay.
later, you may insert.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what we're going to do is that I was talking about the fact sales table, but this fact tables we'll see later. So now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to take a SSIS because the data warehouse data you have to load with the help of SSIS, right? So let me create a project. Now I am planning to show you how to, add this data or how to load the data. Let me open a project. Guys, so I have taken a new project. Okay, that's it. I have taken new project on SSDT and it is Amazon SSIS project. That's what I have done it. So that's it. So now you go here. Now thing is that you have to load the data from OLTP to stage. From the stage, the data you're going to load it to the data warehousing, right? So you have to create. We have created data warehousing tables and OLTP tables. We are ready with that. And let me create the stage tables also. Okay. Now the scripts I'm going to give it to you. So the stage means the blank tables. So create a database called Amazon stage. Now here you're going to have the same table, like same data, same columns, but only thing is that stage category master and their product master, stage product master, same table. So no, there is no change here. Okay. So stage customer master, stage sales. So that's it. I have created all these things. So let me execute this. Okay. It's created a lot of tables, stage tables. Okay. So you have three databases now. One is called Amazon OLTP and Amazon Stage and Amazon Data Warehouse. Okay. You have whatever be the tables you have, the same tables you will be able to have it here. So you have to dump the data from here to here as it is. Let me take a package. Now create a package and rename this, say stage underscore load, say load category cat master. Okay. So this is the first table I'm going to load to the stage. Now drag and drop data flow task. Okay. Now double click on this. Now the source is OLEDB source. That is Amazon database you have to connect to. So double click on this. Now click new. You have to connect to OLTP database in the development environment. So whatever we're doing, we are not in the original data, right? We are going to click on to Amazon development service, right? So here you will have sample data, but table names and all will be the same. And the first table I'm going to choose, that is category master. And here you have the data. So this is your data. Now from here you're going to dump all the data to the destination tables or the taste tables here. OLEDB destinations. So let me take this, double click on this, and you have to create one more connection to stage database. Server name is dot and database name is Amazon stage, and this you have to create. And the table is also already created, so the table is called category master. Click on mapping so that you will be able to have everything here. So when you execute it,
One
it should be
second.
able to, yeah, tell me. We're able to get the data from the OLTP, and slowly we're dumping into stage. Okay, so stage is very very important. For example, you have data in the flat files, or you have the data in the Excel sheets, or if you have the data in any other raw files. The better thing is that you first dump all the data in the staging area. Okay, so when the data is coming to the SQL Server or Oracle to the RDBMS, now cleaning is very very easy for you. Try to understand. So staging is very very important, especially for the when the data is not coming from the any not coming from the RDBMS. So it's coming from files, XML files or this files. So when you maintain a stage database, what is going to happen is that so everything will get cleaned. So you have OLTP, you have a data warehouse, we have two, right? So in between whatever you have, that is a stage. Okay, if the data maybe there in OLTP or maybe there in data warehouse, apart from these two, if you have something there, that is a stage where you're going to clean the data. So I have, so whatever the data I have that got loaded here. Now, but if you run this package, you may get duplicates. For that, what I'm going to do, I wanted to, truncate the table. So in the stage, what we do is that we truncate the data in the stage table, and always we'll do the full loading. So you go to stage database, okay? You write truncate table. The table name in the stage, that is stage category master. So this is the table we're talking about, okay? So this is the table I'm talking about. Now let me use Amazon stage and go, okay? So you have 18 rows, but if you run the package second time, you should be able to get data gets duplicated. So I want to delete this data. So delete all data from stage category master. Then using a data flow, you're going to load, right? So data flow, you're going to load to stage, okay, something like this. You should be able to write. It is not local host. You can say Amazon, or you can say OLTP source, OLTP underscore Amazon, and here F2 for rename, right? So you can say stage underscore Amazon stage database, something like this. You should be able to create and start. So always in the stage you have a truncate and load so that you will not get any duplicate data here. So it's perfectly fine. Now you ensure that you have the data here. So only 18 rows you have, not the other data. So the next package you should be able to create. Okay. So that is, you take new SSIS package. Now this time I have to rename the second table, stage underscore load. The second table is called, say, product, right? Product master. So this table I'm going to add it here. So again, you can just go here and copy paste everything. So you can copy these connections and you can have it here. Okay. So you can have it control V. So you will be able to get the connections and everything there. So every time you need not, do the same thing. So you just go here and simply copy and paste everything here. Okay. Now you can also go to the first this one and go to control flow. Okay. And copy these two things also. So say copy and come to the second package product master, you paste it. Okay. So we're able to get everything.
Sir,
Only thing is that you have to modify the content and everything here. Yeah. Tell me.
so for the connection managers, we can create as a parameter at the package level, isn't it? And use it across.
Yeah, that we will do it later, but that is not, this is creating the package first time, right? So that you can do it because first you have to create like this, and later you need to do that. At the time of deployment, you created two packages
Okay.
and you can do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So now you go here. The second one is that load product. So go to the OLDB source. Now here the second table I'm changing product master, and let me remove this better, and OLEDB destination I'm going to have, and here uh, take staging. Now this time I'm going to take a product master. It's ready-made tables already there. That's it. So I have to come here, and in the truncate it is not this table product master I need to have. So never try to type, because when you type you may get uh, issues with the spellings, right? Never type, always copy paste or drag and drop, something like this. What I'm doing it in the production environments, never try to copy something. Never try to write it. So take this control C and you go here and you should be able to have it. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to delete the data, then I'm trying to load the data. So this is done. The second table is also done like this. Now we're able to get the data from here. So you have this data. So you have 50 rows. When you execute again second time also this package, okay, you should be able to get only 50 rows because you are only truncating and loading. You will not be able to see the new rows coming in, right? All the fresh data. So second is also over. Now you can also take one more package, and here you have to rename, say, stage underscore load. So we have customer master. Okay. So from here, let me copy and these connections. So, or you can also take entire package and copy paste. That is also possible. Many people will copy the package so that they'll get everything. That is also possible. You should be able to copy the package and rename it. So, okay. Now you go to the existing package from here and you go to control flow and select A. Select A means what? Control A. So, and copy all of them and go to the new package and copy paste. And only thing you need to change here, and source you need to change. Destination let me delete, but source you need to change it. Now the table name is called customer table. Okay. So customer table, I have this, and OLEDB destination I take, and let me double click on this. Now go to Amazon stage. So you're able to get here stage directly because you're able to have then the connections master. Okay. So this is the customer master. I have the data. So when you have like this, then only you should be able to get like this. Otherwise, we have to create it every time. That is a bad thing, right? So let me save this. But before that, let me drag and drop the one more table. So that is customer master, right? No, this is the table I'm talking about. So this table doesn't have any data. Control C, and you have to go to control flow. And here you have to ensure that you have to delete this and paste this. And Amazon stage, many people will give, the source. It's not the source data we're deleting. Try to understand. We're deleting destination table data. Destination is here, stage. Okay, so you're able to get the data here. The data is okay. Now you have 60 rows. Again, let me run it here. So you should be able to get only 60 rows. So deleting and loading the data, which is perfectly happening. There's no issue here. Am I clear, guys? So like that, you should be able to run all of them. Then the last one we're talking about is, so sales table, right? So like that, stage, load, sales. Okay. Now let me copy this and paste it here. Let me copy Control C and go to this and paste it here and go to the control flow, select A, Control C and come to this package, go to control flow, Control V. That's it. Double click on this. Oh, I am not renaming this. You have to rename all these things, guys. Okay. So I did not rename. I forgot to do that. But you should be able to do this. Let me this time take sales table. Okay. I have product ID, customer ID, sales date, quantity sold. All of them are available here. Now drag and drop OLEDB destination. Now double click on this. Now take Amazon and here we have a stage sales. Okay, that's it. Now you have to also come here and the stage sales. Okay, now here I have to rename. This is stage sales. All this you need to rename, guys. I forgot to do that. So stage sales. Okay, all the data also we are doing the same thing. Now select star from stage sales. Okay, so you got some 33 rows, all the data, so got done. So once it is done, we are ready with the data of the this one. If you wanted to run all the packages at a time, so you can create one master package, right? So how to create one master, and you can create a new package. So you can say stage underscore load all tables. Okay, so stage load all tables. What we can do, you have a option of execute package task, right? So let me have 4. So these are simultaneously you should be able to call them. So this is load stage so category master, something like this. Okay, stage load customer master. So let me double click on this. So go to package and project reference only, load cat master. This I'm going to call. After that, I'm going to call two more things. that is double click on this. Now for this I'm going to use product master. Okay, so control C and let me go here, load, stage load product master. Okay, so this two. Now third one, you can have customer master. Okay, let me copy this, control C, and let me rename this load. Okay,
The first one is category master. You're giving the same name twice.
okay, okay, that is very good. So this is the customer master. Let me say something. It is cat master. Okay, category master. Perfectly fine. Thank you. So now here, so this is what is called the next one, last one is sales, right? Now here we're going to give what? Load sales tables, and let me take the control C, and you can say load this. That's it. So these are independent, but you need not call. So this is what is called a modularization, right? If you wanted to call that package, you can call anytime. If you wanted to call all the things you wanted to load, you only schedule this, right? So but when you deploy, whenever you wanted to deploy, make sure that you have to deploy everything, all the packages you have to deploy to the SSISDB. So this I have done it. Now let me close everything here, and I only run this package. Okay, so now four things it's going to be executing. So all the four things being executed. Now when you go to, one by one, so you have to stop debugging. Come here, stop debugging. You have to, okay. Okay, so this is going to run all the packages. Now you should be able to see the data here. Okay, so if you run, if you delete everything from here, and all the data will get loaded. So what you have to do, once you have to run all these things, you have to deploy, right? So how to deploy? So each and every package we have to implement logging, and you need to schedule them, right? So how to schedule? So we have to, already told you, right? You should be able to go and what we're going to do is that we right click on build. Okay, so when you right click on build, it is build succeeded. Now I'm going to deploy it to SSIS, but make sure that I have, okay, I have SSISDB created in this, and I wanted to make sure that this also I have to make it on, so that I create something here. And let me go to databases. Let me go to integration catalogs. I have SSISDB. I have something, but let me delete this. So first time if you're deploying, okay, first time you're deploying, you have to make sure that log files and everything is created. I did not create. So you have to come here, and let me refresh once and go to integration services catalogs, right click, create a catalog. And how to deploy we had understood already. uh, so it will going to create one DB, click on OK. Now it is saying password cannot be empty. I'll give some password. Say test123 is the password. You can give any password. Test123 is the confirm password. Okay. Now I'm creating SSISDB. I wanted to load these tables and these packages I have to create. Now I go and I create a folder called, so, Amazon stage packages. Okay, Amazon stage packages. Now let me go here. So here I should be able to dump. So you should go here, right click, and you can directly deploy. When you say deploy, which is going to call a ispack file, right? So click next, and the server name is dot. So click on connect. So you have to go into Amazon stage, click on OK. Now click on OK. Now click on deploy. So, but as Ram said, you should be able to create a parameterizations and everything. That you can do it, because in this video we cannot talk everything. It will be lengthy video. So now that you can do it, and so that you should be able to change the connection strings and everything easily tomorrow. So the deployment is done. So now we can just come here and refresh. Now you have to create only one job for this package. What is the package? So the package is load all tables. For that, let me create a one job. Go here, new job. Okay, stage load all tables. Okay, all tables. So depends upon your criteria. So if you wanted to load all the tables, you can load it. Otherwise, if you want to load a single table, so single table, for example, you may have a table with 165 GB of data. Okay, one more table you may have with 200 GB of data. If that is the case, never do like this, because independent tables loading is recommended. Try to understand. Okay, so never do like this. Today I'm going to stage load all packages, go to steps, click new, and I'm going to attach a package. So attach package here, the stage package. Okay, so that is called integration package, and that is available in catalog, and the server name is dot. When you go here, it's going to give you all the packages. Now I wanted to take only this and click on that, and that's it. Okay, now done. And schedules, I wanted to run this once in a, so daily. Okay, at 6 a.m. That is the time. Okay, so recurring, you can say daily, and occurs every, say, 06, okay, am, and that's click on OK. Okay, so click on OK. So this is going to get the data every day morning at 6 o'clock, and it's going to dump the data. And one thing we have done, so how to get the data to the staging. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to talk about from the staging, how are we loading the data to the data warehousing. Clear? So staging is recommended if you have the data coming from OLTP. Uh, some may some some may not be able to use stage, but I strongly recommend that you dump the data to the stage from there. But when you have a files, definitely I strongly recommend that all files data, CSV, .csv files, dot in text files, dot image files, whatever the data you have, dump in stage, and from the stage you dump into data warehouse. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to work on how the from stage area we're going to load into a Amazon DW. So that some more things we're going to discuss tomorrow. Clear, guys?